I just hope that at some point, maybe this person can recognize the gravity of what they've done and feel some sort of guilt enough to come forward.
October 9th, 2020. A woman stands in front of cameras begging for justice. Her husband was executed in their driveway that morning. 7 bullets, point-blank range. She was there. She saw everything. What police didn't know. What the neighbors didn't know. What the entire Dallas community didn't know was that every single word coming out of her mouth was a performance. And the man who pulled the trigger? He was sitting 600 miles away in Tennessee, believing he had just saved her life. Oak Cliff, Dallas, October 9th, 2020, 7:30 a.m. For the past 6 months, Jennifer Faith and Darrin Lopez had been in constant communication. Hundreds of texts, hundreds of calls, every single day. But on October 8th, at approximately 3 p.m., total silence. 28 hours. No texts, no calls, nothing. That same afternoon, Darrin Lopez fills up his black Nissan Titan pickup truck at Huck's Food and Fuel in Tennessee. He tells his daughters he's going on a hunting trip. But he's not going hunting. He's plugged the Faith family's Dallas home address into his GPS, and he's driving west through the night. 10 hours. While Jennifer sleeps beside her husband Jamie, the man she's been secretly communicating with is crossing state lines, armed, and convinced he's about to save her life. 7:30 a.m. Jamie and Jennifer Faith step outside their front door with their dog, Maggie, for their morning walk. It's a routine they've done hundreds of times. The front security camera captures them. Jamie in front, Jennifer behind. Within seconds, a masked gunman rushes them from the side. 7 shots, 3 to the head, 3 to the torso, 1 to the groin. Jamie Faith collapses. He dies almost instantly from catastrophic injuries, but the attacker isn't done. The gunman duct tapes Jennifer's hands. He makes a show of trying to steal her jewelry, and then he runs. Black Nissan Titan, license plate obscured. But there's something distinctive. A white letter T decal on the back window. Neighbors see it. Security cameras catch it. And that detail, that one detail, will be his undoing. By 7:35 a.m., multiple neighbors have called 911. Dallas police arrive to find Jamie Faith unresponsive in the street. Jennifer, duct tape still on her wrists, is hysterical. And her story is simple. A random masked attacker came out of nowhere. Targeted Jamie. She has no idea why. She's just a victim who happened to be there. The story explodes across Dallas media. Jamie Faith wasn't just anyone. He was a 49-year-old American Airlines technology manager. Well-liked, soft-spoken, no enemies that anyone knew of. Colleagues described him as kind, thoughtful, the type of person who'd never hurt anyone. So why would someone execute him in broad daylight? Jennifer gives interview after interview. She describes the gunman as a complete stranger, masked. She didn't see his face. She can't imagine who would do this. Friends set up a GoFundMe campaign. The community responds immediately. Within weeks, more than $60,000 pours in. Funeral expenses, living costs, supporting a widow trying to survive an unimaginable tragedy. The outpouring of support is overwhelming. Jennifer thanks everyone publicly. She posts updates. She's grateful. She's heartbroken. She's the perfect victim. Meanwhile, police are struggling. There's no clear motive, no robbery, nothing stolen from the house. Jamie's wallet was still on him. This wasn't random. This was targeted. But why? They do have one lead. The truck. black Nissan Titan with a distinctive white T on the back window. Surveillance footage from the neighborhood caught it fleeing the scene. Police released the image to the public. Someone, somewhere, knows that truck. That's the theory. Release the image, wait for tips, standard procedure. Jennifer sees the coverage, everyone does, and that's when she makes her first mistake. At 5:18 p.m. on October 9th, 15 hours after the murder, Darrin Lopez texts Jennifer, "Made it home, safe." The 28-hour digital silence is over. At 10:27 p.m. that same night, Lopez's debit card is used at Huck's Food and Fuel back in Tennessee. Same gas station he'd stopped at before leaving. He's completed the round trip, Dallas and back, approximately 1,200 miles. While Jennifer stands at vigils, while she cries for the cameras, while donations flood in, she and Lopez resume their constant communication. Hundreds of messages, just like before. Except now they're covering their tracks. Investigators are building a timeline, and something doesn't add up. On the day of the murder, Jennifer consented to a search of her phone. Smart move, cooperative victim, nothing to hide. Except Jennifer had deleted her correspondence with Lopez, almost all of it. But she made a critical error. She left one text. To a friend, casually mentioning an old high school boyfriend, Darrin Lopez. Full name. Address in Tennessee. Detectives do what detectives do. They look him up. Darrin Lopez lives in Tennessee, registered owner of a black Nissan Titan pickup truck, the same truck caught fleeing the scene, same color, same make. And there it is, the distinctive white T decal on the back driver's side window. Investigators pull Lopez's digital footprint, GPS data, cell tower pings, debit card transactions, and they reconstruct his entire journey. October 8th, he fills up in Tennessee and enters the Faith's Dallas address into his GPS. October 9th, his phone pings near their neighborhood right around the time of the murder. Same night, he's back in Tennessee, filling up at the same gas station. The digital breadcrumbs are perfect. Security cameras at a pilot truck stop on October 8th capture his Titan traveling toward Texas. The T decal is right there, crystal clear. But when agents photograph his truck in December, the T is gone. The back window is blank. Someone peeled it off. And here's where Jennifer's mask cracks wide open. December 3rd, 2020. She texts Lopez directly. "You need to take that T sticker off the truck. They're looking for it." On camera, she's begging for the killer to be caught. In private, she's coaching him on how to destroy evidence. Investigators also discover how Jennifer spent that $60,000 in GoFundMe donations. In just 2 months, she withdraws $58,000. Almost everything, a Samsung QLED television shipped to Darrin Lopez's address in Tennessee, airline tickets for Lopez and his daughters, gifts, lots of gifts. Meanwhile, Jamie's funeral bill, $6,500, sits unpaid. She left her husband's body in debt. But the man who killed him, he got a big screen TV. Police have the shooter. They have the mastermind. But they still don't understand the why. Why would Darrin Lopez drive 600 miles to murder a man he'd never met? Darrin Lopez, U.S. Army veteran, suffers from PTSD and a traumatic brain injury, lives quietly in Tennessee with his daughters, and until April 2020, he hadn't spoken to Jennifer Faith in decades. They dated in high school, briefly, nothing serious. But in April 2020, Jennifer reaches out on Facebook, just checking in. Old friends reconnecting, innocent enough. Within weeks, they're texting constantly. Within months, hundreds of messages a day, Hundreds of calls. Lopez is falling for her, hard. And Jennifer? She's creating a story. April 11th, 2020. Lopez receives an email. It's from Jamie Faith's account. But Jamie didn't write it. Jennifer did. The email claims Jamie is abusing Jennifer, physically, sexually, violently. It describes beatings. It describes forced sexual acts, group encounters, humiliation, torture. Attached are photos, bruises, blood, split lips, a knife wound to a neck. They look real. They look horrific. But they're not her. They're stock images. Unrelated photos pulled from the internet. May 9th, another email from Jamie. He sends an image of a knife wound to someone's neck and writes, "Good stuff. Enjoy knowing you can't do a effing thing about it." Lopez is horrified. He's texting Jennifer constantly. "Are you okay? Are you safe? You need to leave him. I'll help you." And Jennifer? She's feeding the fire. Then a third voice enters the conversation. A male friend, someone who also knows about the abuse, someone who suggests maybe someone should just shoot Jamie. End this. Lopez responds, "LOL, I'd like to do it myself." And there it is. The seed is planted by Jennifer through a fake account. The entire thing orchestrated. The real Jamie Faith was soft-spoken, thoughtful, well-liked at work. No history of violence, no complaints, no red flags. But the Jamie Faith in Jennifer's emails, a sadistic monster who deserved to die. When investigators finally piece this together, they sit Lopez down, and they show him the truth. Those emails from Jamie, written by Jennifer, those abuse photos, stock images. That male friend encouraging violence, also Jennifer. At trial, Lopez's defense team argues he was manipulated. A combat veteran with PTSD and brain damage catfished by a master manipulator. He genuinely believed he was rescuing an abused woman. He admits to the shooting, but he thought he was saving her life. Jennifer Faith was arrested in February 2021, and investigators had receipts, literally. The prosecution's case was ironclad: digital forensics, financial records, fake email accounts traced back to her IP address, text messages coordinating the cover-up, GoFundMe fraud, witness tampering. Jennifer Faith didn't go to trial. She couldn't. The evidence was overwhelming. She pled guilty to murder for hire and obstruction of justice. And on June 13th, 2022, she was sentenced to life in federal prison. No possibility of parole. Darrin Lopez, despite his defense of manipulation, was also sentenced to life in prison plus 10 years. He pulled the trigger 7 times, and Jamie Faith paid the price. In the end, it was the smallest detail that cracked the case. A white letter T on a back window. A piece of evidence so obvious that Jennifer had to tell her hitman to peel it off. And in doing so, she confessed, "I just want whoever did this to be caught." She knew exactly who did it. She planned it. She paid for it. She directed every move. And when the cameras turned on, she gave the performance of her life. Jennifer Faith will spend the rest of her life behind bars. No parole, no second chances. The puppet master's strings have been cut.